In the late 18th century, Europe stood on the brink of transformation. Revolutions ignited, kingdoms fell, and from the ashes, a single man rose to unparalleled heights. His name, Napoleon Bonaparte. A brilliant strategist, visionary leader, and feared conqueror, Napoleon's rise to power was as swift as his eventual fall. From the battlefields of Italy to the throne of France, he forged an empire that dominated Europe. But his relentless ambition and the unyielding tide of history would lead to his ultimate defeat and exile. How did this once mighty emperor go from commanding vast armies to living out his final days in isolation? This is the story of Napoleon Bonaparte, from emperor to exile. In the annals of history, few figures have left a legacy as indelible as Napoleon Bonaparte. His journey from a modest Corsican upbringing to the throne of the French Empire is a tale of ambition, military genius, and eventual downfall. How did this once glorified emperor come to be exiled on a remote island? This is the story of Napoleon's rise and fall. Born on August 15, 1769, in Corsica, Napoleon's early life was shaped by the island's recent acquisition by France. The second of 8 children, he showed an aptitude for leadership at an early age. By the age of 9, he left for mainland France, attending the prestigious military academy of Brienne. The French Revolution presented opportunities for those brave enough to seize them. Napoleon was one such man. By 1796, he was appointed commander of the Army of Italy. His victories there and later in Egypt catapulted him into the spotlight, culminating in his coup of 1799. In 1804, Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of the French. His reign was not just marked by conquest but by profound reforms that would shape modern Europe. His Napoleonic Code brought legal equality and civil rights to much of the continent, influencing legal systems worldwide. Through strategic military campaigns, Napoleon expanded the French Empire, controlling vast swathes of Europe. His military genius was unrivaled. At the Battle of Austerlitz in 1805, he achieved what is often considered his greatest victory. The fall of Napoleon. But even the greatest conquerors have limits. In 1812, Napoleon made his most critical mistake, the invasion of Russia. His once proud Grand Army of 600,000 men was decimated by the harsh winter and scorched earth tactics of the Russian forces. Fewer than 30,000 returned. As Europe united against him, the tides began to turn. In 1814, the coalition forces captured Paris, and Napoleon was forced to abdicate. He was exiled to the small Mediterranean island of Elba, his empire shattered. The 100 Days and Waterloo. Napoleon's exile on Elba was short-lived. Within a year, he escaped and returned to France, greeted by the people as a hero. Thus began the 100 Days, a brief period during which Napoleon regained power, but the Battle of Waterloo, fought on June 18, 1815, would mark the end of Napoleon's rule. Faced with the combined might of British, Prussian, and other coalition forces, he suffered a final, crushing defeat. Exile to St. Helena. After Waterloo, Napoleon was exiled once more, this time to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. Stripped of power, far from the grand halls of Paris, he lived his final years in isolation, dictating his memoirs and reflecting on his life. Napoleon died on May 5, 1821. Though exiled in life, his legacy endured. His reforms, military tactics, and ambition shaped the world he left behind. Napoleon's story is one of triumph and tragedy. From emperor to exile, his journey embodies the relentless pursuit of power and the price that must be paid.